Hey guys, this is Courtney from Willow's Bloom, where we intentionally design our life and business with the cosmos. And don't forget to check out willowsbloom.com if you like content like this. And I have a new podcast out called Astro Biz, so check it out on iTunes and leave a review if you like it. Okay, so in this week's video, we're going to be talking about using your intuition in your business. And if you like this, you're definitely going to like my video about scheduling intuitively. So I'll link that up in the cards and down below. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to know if you are experiencing your intuition, how to connect more with it, and then the one thing that you really need to know so you don't get off track. And before we go into the content, I just wanted to say that a lot of this came through a conversation with my friend Kim, and she is intentionally intuitive here on YouTube. Go check her out. She has numerology readings each week that are so great, and she's going to be creating more content about living intuitively as well. Okay, let's get into it. So what is the difference between ego and intuition? This is a really big one because a lot of times we think it's our intuition that we're feeling, but it's actually not. And so it can be hard because the intuition is like this little whispering. And how are we supposed to know when it's our intuition and when it's just like this voice in our head? Because the voice in our head's way louder, way more prominent. Well, your intuition, you can really tell if it's occurring because of the way that your body feels, because of the way that your emotions are. So let's go ahead and take a look at some words that I use to describe what it will feel like. So when you're using your intuition or when you feel an intuitive pull to do something, you're going to experience things like joy, excitement, giddiness, expansion, lightness, happy nerves, and you're also going to feel like you're being pushed outside of your comfort zone. So I think a lot of times we will think that, it's a little bit nervous or that seems a little scary. And then we think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. But actually what your intuition wants is it wants you to grow. And so when you're in your business, you really want to rely on your intuition to grow it, to step outside of your comfort zone, to do things that are really good for your soul because your soul came here for expansion. And so the ego will feel a little bit different. It will keep you in your comfort zone. It will feel more closed off, maybe a little bit tighter, darker, heavier, or sometimes even just neutral. Like sometimes you don't feel anything. A lot of times though, it will feel more in your head, like a little bit more analytical. And so when it feels like it's very logical or like you're doing the thing that makes sense or that people suggest, a lot of times that's ego rather than intuition. So just be really careful when you're making your decisions because sometimes the intuition doesn't make any sense. The intuition asks you to do things that you can't see the final result for, that it just doesn't make sense. I don't know I just said that, but it's like, I think as humans, we look at somebody else and we're like, oh, okay, they got to here using these steps. And then we're like, I'm going to get to there using those same steps. So we take their course, we do that material, we start implementing it ourselves, and then it doesn't work. And that's because somewhere along the line, our intuition kicked in and was like, hey guys, like I want you to do this similar step, but in your own unique way using this. And then you kind of don't listen to it because it's a soft, faint voice. And so I'm even experiencing this right now. I'm in a course that's teaching me how to create evergreen webinars, and they have a very specific formula. They're like, use this formula to create success. And I've been using it, and then I've been feeling like this block. I've been feeling this heaviness, like something didn't sit right with me in my gut. But I thought, it was me, I'm not doing good enough. And it was like, it was starting to get in my head about self-doubt. When in actuality, I realized yesterday during my meditation and pulling oracle cards, which I'm going to talk about in a second, that it's because I'm not allowing room for my intuition to be in this process. And, it's not ever going to be like, you're not ever going to get the same results as somebody else. It's not ever going to be as good as it could be if you followed your own intuition. And I want to tell another story about this. One of my teachers, she's incredible. She has another teacher who is also incredible, who's had way more success in her business. And my teacher wanted to do this month-long basically like virtual meetup where we meditate and talk about like goddesses and like being a woman and all this. And then her coach was saying, no, don't do that. Only do it a week. People won't stay for a month. And then she said, no, don't start a membership site. Have people go into your already existing intimate course. And my teacher, who I know probably pays her a lot of money for her opinion, she followed her intuition, even though it was totally against what her teacher was saying. She was like, I respectfully decline because my intuition is guiding me right now. And so she led this whole like webinar series over the course of the month where people met every single day. And then she opened up the membership and it was such a success. And her coach was like, I'm so glad that you didn't listen to me. And so that is what made me realize that it's okay for me to listen to my intuition, even when it's breaking the formula, because you can still take the good parts of the formula that resonate with you, but use your intuition to guide you for all the other parts. And so it makes it your own unique creative experience, because we're all our own unique creative people and so we're meant to make that shine through our work and through our businesses as well. So make sure that you're making decisions not just using your analytical and logical mind, but your gut and your intuition and your heart. Okay, so how do you listen to your intuition? How do you enhance it? How do you connect with it more? Well, here's what I do, and I would love for you guys to comment below about what you do, because I want to learn more ways to harness it myself. So for me, my biggest way as a Gemini is to journal. I journal like crazy. And my biggest recommendation with this is to journal past the point where you think that you're done talking. So start off with stream of consciousness, whatever comes to your mind, and keep going. If there's a specific issue, keep going, because you will find golden nuggets there are just buried within your subconscious waiting to come out. And they're not going to come out in the first page, the first 2 pages. They come out in page 4 or 5. And I've had the biggest revelations in my business journaling, you guys. It has been life-changing. So journal, journal, journal. Another thing that I like to do is I meditate. I've been meditating every single morning. I have a visualization exercise that I do during meditation. If I don't do a meditation, then I do a hypnosis, because I create my own hypnoses. I've created some hypnosises. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. So I actually have an abundance hypnosis that I will put a link for below if you're interested in downloading it. You just subscribe with your email and then I'll send you that hypnosis, and it's so relaxing. It's so helpful. I actually listened to it right before I started working on my course that I have with my students right now. I'm working on the marketing section of my business course using astrology, and I wanted the messages to be really channeled because I felt these blocks there. And so what I did was I did the hypnosis first, and I just felt like I just tapped into my being, to my intuition. And what was even better was that I pulled oracle cards to go along with it to make sure that this in fact was a message that I was meant to share. And so I have so many oracle card decks. I'm just gonna grab them down for you guys so you guys can see how many I have. So I have this one. It's so far away. Okay, this is not automatically focusing. So I have the Animal Spirit deck, the Good Tarot deck, and I have so many. It's too much to even show you. I have the Work Your Light Oracle deck. I have the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I'm gonna link some of these below because they're really awesome and you guys would totally benefit from having them. But I highly encourage you to grab some divination oracle decks, guys. They are amazing, and just sit in meditation for a second so you connect with your guides, call them in, and then ask some questions and then pull some cards, and you will see that they always have the message that you need. Another recommendation is to kind of get out of your head. So I love to do art. I specifically do art on my iPad. I use Procreate. And you don't even need to be an artist. You can draw though. You can do anything that feels good where you're kind of just like doodling. I like Procreate because it allows me to sketch over images that already exist. So I don't have to be worried about what it looks like. I don't have to worry about it being ugly because I'm not a drawer. So I highly recommend that if you don't draw or any other kind of art. I also highly recommend to do yoga, to connect with your body, to go outside, to do breath work, you guys. I don't know if you've ever done an hour-long session of breathwork. I highly recommend it. I did mine with Von Piero. I'm going to link her down below. It was incredible. It was a live virtual breathwork session. 1 hour of intense, full belly, deep body breathing, guys. That shit is intense. It gives you tingles all over your body. And what I did was I spent that time, I was like moving my hands. I'm sure I looked like a crazy person. I was like moving my hands and like visualizing me calling in my soulmate clients. And the next day I woke up to like 3 more people purchasing things and contacting me about my offerings. So I highly recommend it, an hour-long breathwork session. Eventually I'm going to start incorporating that into my morning routine to do like a 20-minute deep, intense breathwork session because it's so transformative. It unlocks the chakras in your body and it just feels really amazing. And that's why yoga is great too, because it brings movement and energy into places that it feels stuck in your body. And so the more that you connect with your body, with your essence, the more you get out of your head and the more you remove the ego and you're able to tap into that intuition. Also, if we can connect with nature, that is no surprise. The more that you're outside looking at the trees, looking at the moon and the stars, and just observing nature in the quiet. I actually love to look at birds. I don't do this a lot, but when I have done this, it's been so healing and so therapeutic to just kind of like watch them fly around, like hop around and peck at stuff and chirp. And anyway, they're really cute. And basically any way that you can connect to nature and bring yourself back to the present moment and forget about your worries, forget about the logic. It's such a healing thing. And then that's when your intuition can come in. So the thing about our intuition is that it comes in when we are an open vessel. So if you don't set time aside, if you don't create white space in your day, you won't be able to be in touch with your intuition. If you're just always going, always in the mode of thinking, analyzing, and in the masculine, you're not going to be able to have these very creative and intuitive, inspired, empowering thoughts channeled through the universe because it's always going to be stuck in your mind. And as a Virgo rising and a Gemini sun, I very much moved the analytical, logical side. So I have to be super conscious about carving out time in my day for rest, for reflection, for journaling, for meditation, for movement, and then for literally doing nothing. Like sometimes I just lay there. And that's when all of the best ideas come. So if you're trying to figure out all the ideas in your head, just take a break because you really need to let the ideas come to you and become attracted, channeled, instead of forcing it and trying to find the answers. A really, really big part of understanding your intuition is making sure that you're using decisions that are based out of love instead of fear. And I think a lot of people don't actually recognize when they're making decisions out of fear, because it is such an insidious and hidden part of human nature that we will have lots of emotions going on and a little seed of fear will be at the core of it. And it will be the reason why you do what you do, because you're scared of an event, you're trying to avoid a particular outcome, or you just don't know what's going to happen, so there's like a fear there. Always ask yourself, am I making this decision out of love or out of fear? And sometimes it's not very, very clear, so dig deep. Which one is the majority? Is it mostly love or is it mostly fear? Because a lot of times the things that we will move towards out of love are really challenging and they bring up a lot of fear in us. And so we can't make decisions out of fear. We have to face the fear, if that makes sense. Like your fear, making decisions out of fear means you're avoiding facing the fear. And so we want to always bring it back to decisions out of love. That's the best question you guys can ask yourself in your whole life. Okay, the very last thing and the most important thing that you guys need to know. If you don't know this, you can easily get off track. The universe will test you. And it's not to be a bitch. It's not to harm you. It's because as you receive challenges, as you receive tests, you will strengthen your intuition. So, for example, when I started this business, I had an intuitive feeling that I was meant to move out of my English business and into this astrology business. Then my brother, who I care about more than anyone in the whole world, expressed to me that he didn't think I could make money from this, that he didn't think that it was basically like a good idea. That was so impactful for me because that was a really big test. It was asking me to really step into my intuition, into my knowing that this was the right path for me, despite my loved ones disagreeing with me, despite my loved ones doubting me. And so I kept with it anyway, and then eventually my brother came around. He's like, yeah, that's really cool actually. And this happened to my friend that I mentioned, Intentionally Intuitive. I'm telling you guys, look her up on YouTube. She's awesome. She was tested really big time. She was looking for a job for years. And then she started her tarot and numerology reading business. And she was like, yes, this is my soul's calling. This is what I'm meant to do. She's a super spiritual person. She was working in HR and corporate for years, and it just wasn't aligned. And she finally stepped into it. She finally followed her intuition. And then guess what happened? A job called her and offered her a 6-figure salary. And she turned it down because she was following her intuition. And so what I'm trying to say is the universe will give you these tests where they will ask you, like, didn't you want this thing? You know, like kind of like dangling the carrot, like, didn't you say you wanted this? Isn't this gonna make you comfortable? And you have to really stand in yourself, in your intuition, and know that just because that thing looks attractive and looks comfortable doesn't mean it's going to lead to the soul expansion that your soul came here for. So if you receive a test, really sink into that and know, really sink into your body, into your intuition, and know which way is the right way to go for you, and don't be deterred. So please, you guys, please comment below what you do to strengthen your intuition and to your connection to yourself, because I'm always trying to incorporate new things and I feel like I'm missing some things, to be honest. So I would really love to know. And before you go, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, hit that notification bell because that's how you get my videos pushed to you each week. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Bye.